And I just feel like the woods around Halloween time are just creepy enough as it is. And I think the legend is unsettling enough. And to make it worse, when the actual forest is in your own backyard and you've grown up with the stories all your life and they're true. Every single one of them are absolutely true, and still I've chosen to live here, and I have to somehow make my peace with that. The actual forest, it haunts me. It's just right out there. I can feel it sometimes. It seems like it's watching me. You see that? It's where she lives. The Blair Witch. I've heard the sounds of cackling late at night. Children screaming. Sometimes it's a baby crying. And I know that's her. And those are her victims. I wish I could do something, but I don't enter. I can only watch and listen in absolute horror. And like I said, I grew up with these stories, the legend, my whole life. As a matter of fact, it was a story my grandmother used to tell us all. Made us go to bed early. Said if you got up and walked around the house too much late at night, the Blair Witch would come and get you. But this all began in 1785, in the month of February. Several of the children in town accused Ellie Kedward of luring them into her house and harming them all in some way or another. And of course, the parents of the children were, of course, all outraged. Who wouldn't be? So they all got together, had her captured and arrested. She was tried and found guilty of witchcraft. She was banished into the woods, tied to a tree during a very historically bad winter. They left her there to die. It was assumed that she died from exposure, but by midwinter, all of her accusers and half of the town's children had all vanished. Naturally, the whole town was terrified, freaked out beyond belief. They all feared a curse, so every single person, they all packed up, left. Everything. The whole town behind. It was November 1809. That's when the book got published, the Blair Witch Cult. That's what really started the obsession for people. The story was little known outside of this area until that book, but after that, that's when the Blair Witch really began to have followers. People claim they could hear her voice in their head, telling them to do things and hurt people, and many did. All for her. And then in August 1825, that's when this town was founded, Burkittsville. It was built in the same spot where the town of Blair once stood, but had long died. But unfortunately for us, the curse was still alive. One of the more famous stories is that of Rustin Parr. In fact, this is one that my grandfather, he talked about quite often. He was younger when this happened, and he remembered it quite well. Rustin Parr was an old hermit, lived back in the woods, had a cabin back there. Wasn't well known in the community. He was seen as, well, to be honest, quite odd. He kept to himself mostly, spoke to himself. In November 1940, that's when he abducted his first victim, Emily Hollins. She was the first of 6 victims. Disappeared over a 6-month period. All these young kids just kept disappearing. Nobody knew anything about why they were disappearing. And until one day Mr. Parr came into town talking about, "I'm finally finished." That's what he kept telling everybody. And nobody knew what he was talking about at first, until finally the police went into the mountains to his cabin back there in the woods, searched. And that's when they found the bodies of the 6 kids that had been missing from the area. And they brought them out of the woods one at a time. It was just a horrible thing. My grandfather talked about how it just tore the whole community up. And during his trial, he talked about an old woman whose feet never touched the ground. And she was the one who told him to do this. Said her name was Ellie Kedward. History would know her as the Blair Witch. I was just awakened, just like 2 seconds ago, by a large crash, intense enough to shake the entire house and wake me out of a dead sleep. So I open the door to see what's going on, and this is all I find. I'm gonna go check it out, see what it is, and then I'll let you know. Wow. I didn't expect that at all. What this is, you see, there's something I haven't mentioned yet, and it's that I have tried to stop her before, years ago. Me, my cousin Josh, his friend Tyler. We were just kids. I mean, I was 10. Josh was 12. Tyler, he was 8. And this is back when, when you're a kid, it's like fighting the bad guy is just, it's cool, It's fun. It was like a game to us. So we didn't take it as seriously as we should have. We were meddling into things that ought not be meddled in. It's dangerous. But we wanted to be heroes. So we grabbed our camera and went into the woods to track her down. Tyler, he was the first to go. Just disappeared out of his tent. Gone. And Josh and I, we continued on, going through the woods until we came to this abandoned house where we thought maybe Tyler would be. We went in there into the basement. And that's when it all happened. Let me show you. I'm not going to play the whole video for you because it's very long. We were in the woods for a few days, but I have prepared a short clip for you, and I will play that now.
Witch! We don't know what's going to happen out there, but we will find a Blair Witch. We will kill her, even if it takes us 100,000 years.
I barely see anything, but as you can see, it's trashed.
I can't believe this. Last night in the woods, what happened?
What did happen?
Notice that we're missing someone?
Who?
Tyler.
Crap.
He's dead. We heard him. You can't remember it. He just disappeared from his tent last night.
What was that? Move. Jim?
What? Came from in there.
You got a gun? The gun.
I got her. We heard cackling. You know it's back.
Oh, crap. Go. The camera!
So you see, at the end of that video, when Josh drops that camera, that was the last time I ever saw him. I ran for my life as fast as I could. Didn't look back. When I finally did, he was gone. He died, just like Tyler. And somehow, I made it out, and they didn't. And that's something that has haunted me ever since. This tape was left there in that camera when it fell. This should not exist. I've never seen this footage until tonight. This should not be here. So, what this suggests, to me at least, is that maybe Josh is still out there. Maybe he didn't die all those years ago, after all. Maybe he's just been waiting for somebody to come and save him. He could still be alive. I'm thinking about going back. So I've gone back and forth with this over the past couple days about whether or not to go in there. Sometimes I think I should, sometimes I think I shouldn't. And I'm not quite sure what to do, so here's the deal. Got a 1983 quarter right here. Do you believe in fate? Well, here's the fate test. Heads. I pack up all my stuff, leave this town, never look back. Tails. I'm going in then. So, let's see. That's a tails. That's a tails, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. Alright, it landed on tails. So, I know what I gotta do now. I left it up to fate. Apparently, this is my destiny. And I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I'm not going against fate. So, I guess that's that. Josh? 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 Are you out here? Josh? Shit. Fuck. She knows. She knows we've come. Come for her. Josh! So I've been in here for about 2.5, 3 hours now, looking around, but so far there's still no sign. There's still no sign of Josh anywhere. But I haven't given up hope. But on a side note, I gotta tell you, I feel like I'm just being watched. I have since I stepped in here. It's like a feeling of just eyes all around you, staring at you from all angles. It's a pretty eerie feeling, and I gotta tell you, I don't care for it. Hello? Hello? Josh! Josh! Josh, where are you? Fuck! Josh! 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 Shit. Josh. I don't know if that's really him. I don't know if that's really him. I don't know. Josh. Oh, fuck, it's cold. Josh. I just feel like I need to stop for a minute. Take a break. And I keep hearing the strangest fucking sounds. And it's all around me. Jesus! Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus! Oh fucking God! Jesus Christ! Oh fuck! Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus! Oh fuck! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh shit! Oh Jesus! Oh fuck! Oh shit! Oh my God! I am so sorry for what I have done to Josh's mom and Tyler's mom and my mom. I am so sorry. And in spite of what Josh used to say, it is my fault. Because it was my project. I'm too scared to close my eyes. I'm too scared to open them. I'm gonna die out here. What's this? So, I've been out here now for a couple of days. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do still. Not a sign of Josh anywhere. It looks like I've come to a clearing here. Might be easier to walk through this way. You know. Fuck, it's cold too. What's that sound? Josh? Josh? Josh! Tell me where you are, Josh! I don't know if that's really him. I don't even know if that's really him. Oh, Jesus. Shit. Fuck. It's fucking wrong. Josh! Oh, Jesus. Josh! Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Josh! Josh? Is that you? Hello? Josh.